up, everybody? What up, everybody? Let's talk about it. It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is the Handmaid's Tale, Season 4, Episode 6. Before I get started, I want to tell y'all to go check out my Dawn of a playlist. I know a lot of you commented on the post video that you love to hear me sing, and so while I was thinking about it today, I uploaded several videos that I have in my phone, and they're already like 10 or 11 videos on there already. So if you want to hear me sing, baby, you can listen to that playlist and this song after song after song after song, okay? I do bar mitzvahs, weddings, funerals, okay? Everything, baby. I will be in your Broadway play. I will come sing jazz. I will do a gig. You want me to do a set? 30 minutes with the band? I got you, baby. Call me. Holla at me if you in the Houston, Texas area. And even if you're not, if you got the coins, I will fly to wherever you need me to be to come and sing, okay? Shameless plug. Now let's get back to this episode. I thought this episode was good. It was good, but it was like a whole lot of nothing happened, you know. It wasn't very plot. It didn't move the plot forward anymore, but we did get a moment to process everything that's happened over all these seasons. So I don't want to waste any time, so let's go ahead and get into it. We start off the episode right where we left off, and Moira is calling June's name over and over again, and as she's calling her name, June flashbacks to a day. It's like a lazy Sunday where they're drinking mimosas and avoiding phone calls and with Moira, and she's chilling on the couch. It's raining. They're stuck inside the house together. It was a really cute little moment between them. We come back to the present. June turns around and sees Moira, but she does not recognize who she is. She's preoccupied with the thought of finding Janine, which we didn't find out anything about her this episode, but I do think that we will find out about something about her before the season is over with, because she's a major character. I know they're not just going to leave their storyline just unfinished, right? I hope not anyway. Moira convinces her that she knows where she is, in the medical tent somewhere, and if she goes with her to the medical tent, you know, maybe they will be able to find her and, you know, help her or whatever. So June arrives at the truck and she gets checked out, and she has a concussion going on, probably a little shell shock too. That's why she doesn't know who Moira is, and Moira cradles her like a baby. I thought it was a precious moment between the two ladies, and then she finally recognizes her and calls her name. Immediately she goes into shock, saying, "Why are you here? Why are you here? It's not safe. You shouldn't be here. Like, basically, I got you out. Like, why are you back here?" And she's like, "No, I got you. You know, you're safe now. I have you. You're gonna be okay." They arrive to the camp, and when Moira tells her that she's going to try to look for Janine to try to figure out what happened to her, we see the team leader, who is also Moira's girlfriend. She comes over and she tells her, listen, they need to evacuate the camp. It's a whole bunch of people at the gate trying to get in. So basically what they've heard is that they're going to drop the bombs again, and they have to get out. They have to take all the food with them. She's like, why won't you leave the food? Because the people are going to fight each other, and they're going to kill each other trying to get this food. So we got to take everything. We can't take anybody with us. Of course, Moira is trying to convince her to take June with them, and she's like, no, that's against the rules. June cannot come. She cannot come with us or whatever. And she was like, I know, but that's my best friend. And she was like, girl, this is the first time anybody's ever said this out loud on this show, but sis, your best friend life is not worth more than these people life that's out there. If we can't take them, we can't take her. We can't break the rules for your one friend. We'll try to help her when we get back. We'll try to get her out. Moira, of course, does not listen to the rules, and she runs Janine in. She hides her in like the side space, and she tells her, listen, you're going to have to run for the boat. At the same time, what's happening is the people, like I said, they're clawing at the gate. They're about to tear the gate down to try to get in, to get whatever food supplies, to try to get on that boat so they can get to Canada. June is so preoccupied with Janine, and she like, girl, Janine is probably dead. I don't know where Janine is. Then she tells her that she wants Hannah. You know, she has Hannah. She cannot leave Hannah. She can't leave her child there. She says, you're going to be dead too. If you go back out there, they're going to kill you. They're going to kill you in front of your daughter. They're going to kill you. Says, will you be able to find her? And like I said, meanwhile, the tension is building because the people are trying to bust through that gate. And she says, is she safer without you? The best way to help Hannah is to go to Canada, to, you know, basically work through the government to try to help her another way. You're not going to be able to save her the way that you think you're going to be able to save her. And she says, we're all there. Emily is there. Luke is there. Nicole is there. She even names not Alma. What's the other girl named? Rita. Rita is there. And she says, we'll all, you know, help you. Moira is also like, don't do this to me again. Don't leave me again. You can't do this to me. So later on in the episode, it comes up that, you know, she was manipulating her, and I bet she was manipulating her a bit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Moira does try to make people resolve things the way that she thinks they should resolve them, but at the same time, did she lie? Like, did she lie? I mean, It was no lies told, girl. They was gonna kill you. They're gonna find you. They're gonna hunt you down, and they're gonna kill you. Just like they had Hannah. You didn't even know they had Hannah, girl. They was gonna kill you, sis. I don't know what you was thinking. You was just gonna run out there and go get Hannah and come on back. Like, how was that gonna happen, girl? That wasn't gonna happen. Maybe it's time to try something different because, like I said, a lot of people have suffered consequences because of June's action. And then it continues on in this episode. It wasn't really June, though. It was Moira. As this is going on, the horn sounds for the boat. It's time to get her ass on the boat.
Girl, we ain't got time to be standing out here with you all day. You better get your ass to Canada. We've been watching this show for 3 seasons, and all you do is turn around and go back to Gilead. Girl, bring your ass to Canada.
They finally make a run for it. She gets on the boat, and as we see the boat taking off, we see the people have busted down the gate, baby, and they was trying to get their ass on that boat, honey. Period. Trying to get to the promised land, and I don't even blame them. Then we're in another flashback. So on this flashback, we can see that she's starting to pick up her books off the shelf, and she's moving in with Luke now. They're engaged to be married. And Moira kind of brings up, do you think this is a good idea? And she's like, which part? You know, she was like, all of them, girl, Mary and Luke. She was like, so, what do you mean? Like, what are you trying to say? She says, well, it's a lot easier to end an engagement than it is to end a marriage. She's like, why though, girl? Like, because you've been in so many marriages? Like, bitch,
you trying to tell me about something you ain't never did before? Oh,
I know you can't say nothing about nobody man, honey, because they gonna get upset, baby. He said, well, why? Because he cheats on his wives. That's what he does. He cheats on him and then he leaves them. And she says, well, you know, our marriage is going to be different. You know, I am not her. I am me. Our relationship is good. You know, so she breaks down all the reasons why he wouldn't cheat on her, and they're not going to be like that. You know, him and her argued all the time, but we never argue. And you can tell that they're just not seeing eye to eye about this. You know how hard it is to talk to your best friend about something this sensitive. They get upset. Trust me, I know. She tries to wrap up a picture, and Moira was like, bitch, that's my picture. Don't take my okay, thank you. Leave that on the counter. I don't know where you thought you was going. So Moira is on the boat. She's hitting June, and she goes to talk to her boss, also her girlfriend, right? And so she's telling her, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? We couldn't bring June. I apologize. We're going to try to help her when we come back. Basically, she's like, we'll be in Canada in about 10 hours. We got to make it through this inspection. And she's like, inspection? What do you mean inspection? Basically, the Port Authority or whoever, the guardians on the border, they're going to come on the boat. They're going to check every inch of the boat to make sure everything is correct, and then it'll be about 10 hours until we go on to Canada. And she's like, hold up, bitch, I gotta tell you something. So she tells her about June, and then we come to this meeting where June is just sitting down. She's not saying anything to anybody. And Moira did take the, you know, the blame. She was like, it was me. I'm the one who convinced her to come on here. She didn't even want to come. It's my fault. The woman wants to hear from everybody. The leader, she wants to hear from everybody. And some people are like, turn her ass in, bitch, because they ain't going to let us do this no more. If they find out we lying and we got to stow away on the damn boat. Other people are like, let's bring her to Canada. She here now. I mean, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and bring her up there. So we have a back and forth, and they're arguing. They're arguing about how they're going to solve the situation. And June all of a sudden is like, listen, don't say nothing else. I'm going to go out and tell them I got on the boat. Y'all didn't have nothing to do with it, and they'll take me back. It'll be that simple. So that seems to be the end of it. So then we see them all on deck. They're waiting for the inspection guardians to come and check the boat. And Moira is still pleading with her girlfriend to please, God, please just don't let them take her. Like, don't do this. Because you're basically sending the girl off to die. They know that if they get her, they're going to kill her. You know what I mean? So she feels bad. And at the last moment, she's like, all right, y'all, go clean her face up. Make her a fake ID. Tell her what to say so she don't mess nothing up. The guardians, they're searching the boat. You know, they're taking everybody's names, checking them off on the list, you know, clearing folks. And she tells them that she is Rachel Smith. This is June. And he's like, did something happen to you? Because he's talking about her face and her eye and stuff. And she's like, about to answer, probably about to say something that she shouldn't say. And Moira answers for her and says, man, she got knocked out, you know, with all the commotion that was going on. And, you know, she clears the line. Everything is cool. They leave, and it's off to Canada. Moira was telling her, wow, you made it. Like, you made it this far. Look at everything you've been through. You made it. And we see a flashback of her moving her things into Luke's house. And she's talking about the vows. You know, he makes a joke about let's put something in the vows. And she says, well, how were you and Andy's vows? And he was like, no, we just had like a normal church thing. We did it in a church setting. And he was like, what's up? What's wrong with you? You know, and she was like, will our marriage be different? And he was like, yes, our marriage is going to be different. What if we can't get pregnant? What if I don't live up to the standards you have and I'm not the person that you think I am? And he was like, I want to have a family with you, but either way, I think we'll be okay. She was like, you don't know the future. Like, you're not going to be able to tell me how you're going to think in the future. What if I'm not the person that you think I am? And he says, well, I'll just love the person that whoever you turn out to be. And so this is really going to be put to the test in the next few weeks, I'm sure, because June is definitely not the same woman that he married some 7 years ago. This is a totally different woman who has been through a lot of traumatic events, which is why I think her and Nick connect on that level like that so much, is because he understands Gilead. He's been through the same thing that she's not the same thing, but he's been through the things in Gilead, so he understands where she's coming from and her different point of view, not her different aspects. I watched an interview this week and they did like all the cast members pick you team Nick or team Luke, and it was interesting to see the choices, and a lot of people were like, her and Nick have this crazy chemistry. Yeah, they have this crazy chemistry because it's like secret teenage love. And, Luke and her, will they be able to make it work? Because they're two different people. He's waiting for his wife that he left, and she's like a totally new person now. So, who even knows what's going to happen? And then, he isn't Nicole's dad. So, that's going to come up at some point. I know he loved Nicole, but that's not his daughter. And I, for one, think that Luke is low-key trash, because we've seen him on this show for several seasons, and he ain't been thinking about Hannah ass. He ain't say, where Hannah? Can we get Hannah? He ain't said nothing about Hannah. Like, Hannah just didn't exist. I'm sure he's probably reconciled. Maybe she's dead, or maybe she's gone, or whatever the case may be. But I'm like, damn, that's your daughter. You know what I mean? And she's staying there to help your daughter, and you sitting up here complaining about her staying there, but she's there to save your damn child. Like, I don't know. Luke and Nick are just both trash. Me personally, I'm not team neither one of them. I think that she should leave this show like Olivia Pope and just be by her damn self. Okay, that's what she should be, alone. And then we pan to June doing the June face, and she's staring off the deck. Uma, I think her name is Uma, y'all. I could be wrong, but this is Moira's girlfriend, the leader. Uma and Moira argue again, and June overhears them arguing, talking about how she put her in a bad place. If she sent June off the boat, she would be sending her to death. Like, I either had to save her, I had to kill her. Like, you put me in this position, that's your fault. Moira was like, I'm sorry, this is my friend. I just couldn't leave her there. And she's like, girl, don't you think I done had to make hard decisions every time we leave these places? Don't you think I've had to make like difficult decisions, just like the decisions that I had to make to leave her behind today? And then she starts talking about their relationship, and Moira was like, can this just not be about us? Like, can we just leave us out of this? And she was like, can we talk about this when we get back to the office? She was like, girl, there's not finna be no office. When they find out that they stole somebody from Gilead, this is not diplomatic. This is not making, Canada look like they doing things fairly. So it's going to reflect bad on them. So they probably won't be able to go back and help anybody else because you did this. Here we go with another reckless consequence of not June's action, Moira's actions. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Come on now. And I personally think this stems from Moira feeling guilty about everything that's happened. The fact that she's been out, she's been living her life as normal, and June has been stuck in Gilead trying to save and help all these people, and she feels like she wants her friend back. I'm sure it's a lot of mixed emotions that's going into this, but what Uma said was right. I mean, here we go. Did she lie?
Did she lie?
Girl, she probably done had to leave all kind of people behind. And she said, we all got friends and family in Gilead. Okay, we all got people in Gilead. You ain't the only person who got a best friend who you want to save. Now, granted, June did save a lot of people. She saved a lot of kids, and maybe that's what'll, help their situation after this is over with. But at the same time, you done broke all kind of rules trying to get your friend to Canada, child. So it's a whole mess. Everybody feeling guilty. Everybody feeling some type of way. Moira goes to check on June, but June is not there. She finds June trying to get a lifeboat off. I guess she's trying to get her ass back on the water and go back over to Gilead. Child, I don't know what the fuck June be on some bush like, bitch, you think you finna get in the water and get your ass back to Gilead to do what? To do what, girl? After Moira goes back and forth with her for a few seconds, she's like, girl, bitch, I'm just gonna go too. I'm going. If you going, I'm going too, baby, because I don't have time for this. Like, you're not about to leave me again. And she was like, you tricked me. You tricked me into leaving my daughter. You manipulated me. You know what I'm saying? And Moira had to pause for a second because here we go.
Did she lie?
You did manipulate her. You told her all this horrible stuff. That is going to happen to her. Okay. What's going to happen to her? I mean, June, I personally feel like June needed to hear those truths. Okay, because June be living in fantasy land, and I know she got plot armor, ain't shit gonna happen to her. But at the same time, you need to hear these things out loud. That girl, if you go back your ass back there, you is the number one wanted person over there. They're gonna kill you as soon as they find you. Anybody finds you. She feels like, you know, if she doesn't go back now, Hannah will be gone forever to her. And then Moira is like, well, girl, what happened? And she tells her about how they brought her in there, how they showed her Hannah, how there was nothing she could do to help Hannah, and Hannah was afraid of her. She didn't know who she was. How could she not go back, you know, to try to help her, to try to save her daughter? And she was like, girl, they not expecting you to be a superhero, even with you saving all the kids. And she's like, I didn't save Hannah. You know, I saved everybody, but I couldn't save my child. And I'm her mother, and I was supposed to protect her, and I was supposed to bring her back, you know, but I failed. And then she's like, how can I face Luke? How can I look at him and tell him that I don't have his daughter with me, that I failed, that I didn't bring her back? Moira is like, why don't you just wait till you see him? You know, have some faith. And she's like, no, I know what he can take, and I know what he can't take. And she was like, why don't you find out? Instead of speculating and getting all scared and getting ready to just get in the boat and just go out here and do something crazy, why don't you pause and wait and see what happens before you just make an assumption? So then we have another flashback to June, and this is when she tells Luke that she's pregnant. She's pacing back and forth, and then Luke comes up. She tells Luke, hey, I'm pregnant. And, you know, they have this great moment together. They're overjoyed together. And then we go through this whole montage of memories they have with Hannah being born and them doing family activities, going to the beach, all the good times together, you know. It was cute to see them in this way because we only saw the way they really got together, and then we saw Hannah, and then we saw everything fall apart. So we have never seen like the in-between time. Because we all, I don't know about y'all, but I felt some type of way about her doing abortion and taking that lady man, you know what I'm saying, sleeping with that lady husband, and how her and Luke got together. Don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm just going to say that, you know, life happens, things happen, okay, things happen. I've definitely made my fair share of mistakes. But it seems like they put it all together and they moved on, sans the ex-wife, because we know the ex-wife went through some things, you know, after the divorce. Oh, it's the next morning and Moira goes in to check on June, and June says she's doing fine. They're in Canada, they have docked, and so she's like, just give me a minute, you know, I need a minute to collect myself. And I'm like, Lord, anything can happen to this bitch. This bitch could jump off the boat into the water like June, be on some bullshit, I don't know. She's kind of gathering herself, getting herself together, and then we hear Luke, and he's like, where are you? Where is she? Where is she? And he comes in and he finds her, and they turn around, they look at each other. This is the moment, like, we've been waiting for this moment for like 4 seasons, and it was kind of an awkward moment, but she smiles, and then the first thing she does is apologize for not having Hannah. And he says, she's like, I'm sorry, and he just runs over to her and he hugs her, and he kind of consoles her as she begins to break down and cry into his arms. And they begin to walk off the boat, and as she walks down the ramp, she stops on the last, you know, rung of the ramp, and she kind of gives the June face again, and we get that really close pan into her face. I think this will be interesting because June has been running and been in this traumatic situation for so long, and now she has to sit back and she has to kind of reconcile everything that she's done, all the lives that have been lost, the fact that she doesn't have Hannah, you know, that she made it to Canada. I think that she's going to feel some level of guilt, especially if we don't find out what happened to Janine. You know, did she get captured? Did she die? Like, what happened to Janine? Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see how this affects her, because as we can see with Rita's character, she's going through some things trying to like process what happened to her, that level of Stockholm syndrome. And I personally think June gonna carry her ass back to Gilead, and she finna join the Night Watchers, and she gonna be back in Gilead before the season is over with. That's what I think, because I think she is determined to get Hannah. I think that something is gonna happen with Nicole. Y'all think that Waterford might be the father of Nicole's baby? I know in the book, spoiler alert, they said that it's not. Nick is the father, and that's it. You know, it's been established. Okay, so I think that there probably will be the same, that Nick is the father, but it could be a possibility. But I do think even if he's not the father, I do think that the Waterfords are going to leverage that baby to try to get their freedom, to try to get some type of deal going with the people, try to get some kind of deal going with Canada. So I do think that's going to be in play on the next episode. And my hope is that we have a confrontation scene with June and Serena, because those are always so good, right? When they go at each other, like those scenes be off the chain. Those two actresses are killing it, okay? Killing it. And I think that June deserves a moment to let her ass have it in a country where she can cuss, she can be ignorant, she can say whatever she want, and they can't do nothing about it. They can't put no mask on her face on all of that stuff they be doing. I believe that it's time for her to take her power back, and I do think that what Moira said was true to a certain extent, that now it's time to use diplomacy. Now it's time to do it a different way, because what you've been doing has worked a little bit, but everything that works, it backfires. There's something that happens on the other end, okay? So I do want to see how that's going to play out. I think that as far as Lawrence and Nick go, we didn't see them this episode, but I do think they're going to end up getting in trouble for helping or, seemingly trying to aid her in some type of way, right? I think that this storyline with Nick, people talking about Nick going to end up in Canada, Nick going to die. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't even know what's going to happen to Nick. I have no idea what's going on with this show with him, but my prediction is that he's going to die because he is trash. Number one, he was ready to let her go to the breeding farm. Like, I just can't get over that shit. Like, you love her so much, but you was ready to let her breed children for the rest of her life like a dog. I just couldn't. I can't. Okay, with him. And I think that he trying to play both sides too much. And I think ultimately that's what's going to get him killed. Lawrence might be able to slither through, but I don't think either one of them are going to make it to the end of this series. Okay, I really don't think her and Luke are going to make it either, because like I said, there's so much trauma that's happened to June. She's a completely different person, and she has to process that. She needs to go through therapy, and it's too much going on for her to sit down with a therapist, because she's gonna be out here trying to fight. She got a revenge on her mind. She wants her child back. She's gonna make them hurt like they hurt her. So she said that multiple times throughout the season. So although not much forward plot movement happened in this episode, we did get a moment to reflect. We got a little fan service with her finally making it out of Gilead, because we were tired of her ass going back to Gilead every damn season, okay, getting this close to freedom and then not being free. Girl, we happy she finally made it to the promised land. Okay, so I want to hear your thoughts about this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll holler at y'all next episode. Peace.